How's it going, guys? This is Andrew here with Woods Lifting. It's a beautiful morning. It's going to be more of a freeform type video. Just a couple things I want to talk about. Anyways, frequency. That's the first thing I want to talk about. Training frequency. Frequency is king. And this is something that I'm just starting to realize for myself. I've recently, over the past 8 months or so, been on a training split where I was benching twice a week and squatting 3 times a week, which is insane. I made some progress in the short term, specifically I think because I was getting back into it, so it's almost like I was new to lifting in a way. But as the weights got heavier and as I kept progressing, I ran into these sort of plateaus and I couldn't fully recover between sessions. My joints, they didn't feel right. I was having some, specifically for bench, I was having some pec minor issues, and there's a tendon right here that was really being agitated, and I couldn't figure out a way to fix that. I stretched it, I iced it, I put heat on it, I did some Himalayan chants over it. Nothing was working, and so I went to a new type of program, which I'm currently running right now. It's the Juggernaut system, and it's got me benching once a week, and I feel so much better. This doesn't bother me. I go to the gym and I feel refreshed and I feel ready to attack the weight, and that's all due to frequency. I mean, I still kill it every time I go in the gym, or at least I try to. I'm doing a little bit more in the way of sets and reps, and there's always an AMRAP, which is a huge stressor, but I've got the week to recover, so it's not a huge issue. People say that muscle takes 48 to 72 hours to recover, and that is scientifically true. Look, does anybody ever talk about your ligaments, your tendons, about your nervous system? I mean, especially with something like a deadlift. The reason most people deadlift once a week is not because the muscles in your back take so much longer to recover. The reason most people deadlift once a week is because your central nervous system takes a pounding, right? It's extremely hard on your nervous system to lift a heavy object from the floor, right? No stretch reflex, you just pick it up. That's difficult for your nervous system to do, and it takes a while to recover from. And that is why most people only deadlift once a week. And so ever since I've started benching once a week and squatting once a week, overhead pressing, everything once a week, I feel better. I don't feel like there's an injury right around the corner. I feel like I can push it every time I'm in the gym, and I feel like I have ample time to recover. And so frequency, I think, is something you guys should look at if you're stalling, right? If you've been doing once a week and you're not making any more gains, go to 3 times a week for a little bit until you start to feel the fatigue build up, and you're going to notice little things here and there. Your knee isn't going to feel quite right. And now, if you do have a knee injury, I'm not saying stay off of it, leave it alone. I think you should work through the range of motion often with very light weights. But what my problem was is that I was doing it too often with heavier weights, and I was really pushing myself, and those don't mesh. So I took some extra time, and I feel better now. Because if you hurt yourself, the gains go away. That's no fun. Something else I wanted to talk about: steroids, the S word, the naughty word that no one really wants to mention. I'll say this: a lot of people on YouTube and Instagram, I think, are lying about the fact that they are not using steroids. I think they are using steroids, quite a few of them. But here is my opinion, and this is the way it's pretty much always been. I don't care. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't impact me in my lifting, in my life. What another man wants to inject into his backside is not my concern. That's all up to him. The only issue I have with that is when people compete in a tested federation and they lie about using steroids. That's cheating, and I have an issue with that. But other than that, if you're just a gym rat, if you just want to throw some weights around, I got no issue with it. You want to look good for the beach? Go ahead, take steroids. I think it should be legal. It doesn't bother me. And I think people can get caught up in this debate, and they can spend a lot of time thinking about whether or not so-and-so is taking anything extra, anything that's not entirely legal. And like I said, it doesn't affect me, and it shouldn't affect you. You should be focused on yourself. If you're so worried about whether or not someone else is taking steroids, that means you aren't focused on yourself enough. You need to stop worrying about what other people are doing. You need to spend more time paying attention to how you are acting. Are you doing what you need to do? Because look, there's always going to be someone that's stronger than you. Always going to be someone faster. Always going to be someone smarter. Someone better looking. Someone with a cooler car. That's not what life is about. Life is about self-development. It's about finding yourself. It's about building yourself. Becoming stronger. And you're never going to do that if you're just spending all of your time trying to figure out whether or not so-and-so is taking something extra. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help anybody. Because, I mean, if they are lying about it, what makes you think they're going to suddenly change their mind and admit because you got some evidence? There's always plausible deniability. And these dudes that lie about it are already, they've shown themselves to not be good people inside. And so there's nothing you're going to be able to do to change that. So don't even try. Right? Men shouldn't be caring about what other men are doing. You should be focused on yourself. Being selfish can be a good thing in a lot of ways. You know, if you're in an airplane and there's a hull breach and the little masks drop from the ceiling, what do they tell you to do? They tell you to put it on yourself before you help anyone else. Even before your children. Because you can't help anyone if you aren't in a good, healthy place. And so I think that's why you should really focus on yourself internally and externally. Stop worrying about what other people are doing. Alright guys, that's going to wrap up this video. Thanks for watching. This has been Andrew with Woods Lifting. Like, comment, and subscribe.